Now we come to the agreement part. Now, I want to say something because I don't want to forget it because it's quite important. If your family and friend is giving you a loan, which means the money you have to pay back, or an investment, which means they want to be part of the business, and as the business makes money, they also make money, I really think you have to go semi-formal. Maybe not formal, but semi-formal at least. You got to have an agreement, because if you don't have a signed agreement between both parties, you're likely to get in trouble somewhere along the line. So it's important to ensure you have some kind of agreement going. Now, you can take this agreement further than I'm telling you today and kind of go to a solicitor and draft a proper, agreement. But I want to give you a few things to kind of think about if you're not going to go to a solicitor, or some things to kind of let it just buzz around in your mind as you go to collect money from a family and friends, so that you can keep your relationship just in case things don't go exactly according to how you plan it. Even if they do as well, because, people change with money. So you need to know exactly what you're doing. All right. I suggest you have a date, which is obvious, but some people forget to put that. A date of the agreement. Then the names and addresses of both parties, including the AKAs. Now, I'm saying this because let's assume you start a business today and that business becomes a multi-million pounds, multi-million dollar business. The last thing you want is somebody coming out of the woodwork and trying to lay claim to your enterprise, or trying to get in on the action now that the business is successful, because you didn't put, that name meant something else, which, you don't want to get involved in litigation. So put their name, the aliases, the address, so that it's well documented. Then, of course, the next of kin. People say, supposing somebody dies, what then happens to my investment also, or my loan? Well, you have a next of kin included in the agreement. Now, the type of investment is very important. Is this a loan? And we'll talk about it in the next slide. Or is this an investment? So I'm going to give you a little bit more information about loans and investment in the next slide. So just hang on for that. So what you would do is you would import that information into this simple agreement that you're going to sign. The next thing, of course, is the signatures of both parties. And I suggest get it witnessed by someone neutral, or another friend that knows you both, or a church person, or a community leader, or somebody else that knows you both and can vouch for both of you. It's important that you do these things, because when things go wrong, or when things go good and somebody wants to get greedy, you have someone who was also involved that you can go back to. All right. Now, if it's a loan, these are some of the things to consider if the family and friend is giving you a loan. You got to think about, one, how much is it? What is the amount? It's got to be stated in the agreement. The exact amount is $10,000, 10,000 pounds, 10,000 euros, or whatever currency the money is going to come in. And what's the level of interest? Is this a 0% interest, a 5% interest, a 10% interest? Actually, one of the reasons why we go to family and friends is because we get a lower level of interest, even when they give us a loan, than we'll get from a bank. I remember going to a bank once, and the bank manager was telling me that, the bank loans for new businesses have moved up to 29%. I mean, come on, that's ridiculously high. So the interest should be stated. Next thing is payback period, installments, end date. Okay, are you going to be paying this money back plus interest monthly, quarterly, every 6 months, every 2 months, every week, whatever it's going to be? And when is the end date for this payment? When does this payment actually stop? So that we know that, okay, we don't owe anybody any more money. We've paid you back, Mr. Family or Mr. Friend, and thanks very much for being part of and helping us. And here's a nice present for you. Okay, here's your Lamborghini. Whatever you're going to buy for them if they just helped you out. Okay, so you've got to talk about that. And one more point on this payback period. Whenever we're starting a business, the general tendency is to be enthusiastic and extremely positive, and that's good. I'm not knocking that at all. But when it comes to payback periods, try to get a longer payback period, just in case things don't go exactly how you planned it. So try to get, instead of saying I'm going to pay you back, let's say you got a loan from a family and friend for, I don't know, $20,000. And you think, okay, I'm going to pay it back, in 2 years. I'm going to pay you back $1,000 plus of 10% interest every month, whatever. Let's say let's say it was worked out. You agreed you were going to pay the person back $1,100 every single month, or £1,100 every single month. What happens if things get a little bit difficult in the second or third month and you're unable to do that? You're going to start looking bad to the family and friend. So have a longer, get as much. It is better to pay earlier than to pay the money later. So try to get a longer repayment period. If you think you can do it in 2 years, just say 4 years. And if they go for it, all well and good. Hallelujah. That's great for you. So you can then pay back in 2 years. But don't tell them, I'm going to pay you back in 12 months. And then 12 months comes, you've not even made many payments because you had some issues in between. That's going to cause rifts in your relationship. So you want to do that. Now, you can also put in this agreement, are there going to be late charges, fees? So when you pay back the loan later than agreed, is your family and friend going to charge you something or not? You never know. So it's better to be upfront about it. Now, finally, another thing to consider is tax issues. You let them know they're responsible for their taxes, because obviously if they're lending you money and they are going to earn interest, they should be responsible for their taxation according to the laws of the land. So let them know that. Don't get involved in their taxation issues. Let them deal with it themselves. Just let them know that they're responsible for their tax issues. All right. Now, I hope you got all that. If the money is an investment, or what we call equity, it's generally called equity because they're really going to be part of your business, or they're going to own part of your business. This is a type of investment where the investor owns part of the business. It's generally used when the business has a kind of share ownership attached to it, as opposed to a sole proprietorship. But it can also be in a sole proprietorship, but just got to decide exactly what level of involvement and stuff. So let's go straight into that and talk about that right now. So let me be clear again. When somebody gives you a loan, they don't necessarily have to be involved in your business. However, when somebody is an investor in your business, they may do that because they want to be involved in running the business with you. They're now, in quote unquote, a partner in your business. It's not a partnership. It doesn't necessarily have to be a partnership, but they want to be involved because when the business does well, they also earn money. So decide from the beginning their level of involvement. If you don't want them to be involved in the day-to-day running of the business, say so. The worst thing you want to do is to have a horrible person who has money in your business to be part of your day-to-day running of the organization, i.e., they're calling you every time what's happening to sales. I can see the emails, they're in your emails. You really don't need that, so be careful. So say so in the agreement. The level of involvement is a sleeping partner agreement where, yeah, I will report to you every 3 months, every 6 months, every month, but you're not involved, but I will value your opinion. So then it comes to the second thing then, the decision-making process. Are they involved in the decision-making process, or they're not at all, and you just take advice from them and you can decide whether you want to use the advice or not? Are they in an advisory consultancy capacity? Let them know that also. Now, next thing, the number of shares they're going to own. Is this going to be 50-50? If you had 100 shares in the business, that is. Is it going to be 50-50? Or is it going to be, you're going to own 70, they're going to own 30? And also, how will the profits be shared? Discuss that, because now they are an investor in the business, not just giving you a loan. Next thing to talk about is the level of profits that will be retained in the business. We're talking about this in the agreement because you don't want your investor to come up and say, well, like I said in the other video, my roof fell down, so I need my money back, kind of thing. You don't need that. So you want to let them know there's going to be a retained profit within the business, and it's going to be 50% of the profit, 80% of the profit, or it's going to drop, it's going to be scalable over the years, whatever it's going to be. Let them know that. Also, the dividends you're going to pay. How much are you going to pay out from that profit, and when is it going to be? And finally, like we said, concerning the loans, the tax issues, are there issues, or their dividends, when they get a dividend, they're going to pay tax on it. Or when they earn money from the business, they're going to pay tax on it. So let them deal with their taxes. And if you feel that, in conclusion, what I'll say to you is, if you feel this agreement is a little bit loose and you want something much more firmer, you can have what's called a shareholders agreement, or you can simply go to your solicitor and draft a proper contract. But these are some of the things that you can consider when you're going to go to family and friend to raise money. All right, I hope you got all that, and I look forward to your success, and let me know how you get on. Remember my email. Talk to you soon. Bye.